Oh. Oh, hi, Jay.
Oh, hi, Mike. Happy Halloween.
Well, happy Halloween to you, too.
Oh, my God. You're actually wearing a spooky t-shirt, just like the rest of us.
That's right, Jay. I went through my closet, and this is the scariest shirt that I own. Well, except for this. Well, let's get started. So today we've picked out 3 films from our horror movie collection, and we're gonna watch each one of the films, talk about them later, and boy,
What the fuck is happening? What just happened? What are you guys doing?
Is everything okay over there?
Don't think it filth on me again, you son of a bitch!
What is happening?
Did he start drinking again?
Is he possessed by a demon?
Speaking of demons, it's Halloween. Let's talk about the films. Why are you laughing? Let's talk about the films we're watching today.
Well, Mike, what's our first movie?
Our first film is a film that I personally picked. It's called Carnivore. Now, I picked this film for 3 particular reasons.
Okay.
And those would be the 3 stills used on the back of the box. One is a silhouetted man with a smoke machine behind him. One appears to be the President of the United States. And the third is possibly the monster?
Something.
The titular carnivore?
They seem to have used mostly stills where you can't see what's happening.
Yes, and to me, that's a good sign. From afar! Oh, this was the other reason.
Okay.
Where we know it's a complete hack job. From afar, the old Romero house.
Oh. Tip to low-budget horror filmmakers, don't do that.
Never, ever do that.
You have to explain that.
They're paying homage to 17th century Mexican artist Jose Romero.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What did you guys think it was?
Very subtle.
It's right next to the Savini house,
Yeah, right.
the 17th century French Impressionist painter.
Right. Right. So many references that we mistakenly interpret as horror nods. Anyways, from afar, the old Romero house looks like a decrepit old mansion, reputedly haunted. But what the locals don't know is that behind the facade of this ancient building, the U.S. government has built a state-of-the-art high-tech field lab which houses one of the world's most gruesome experiments.
A backlit rubber monster?
A backlit rubber monster.
Terrifying.
With a smoke machine. And suddenly, the creature is free to roam the house.
Oh no, it's gonna all take place in a house.
The Romero house.
The Romero house.
At the
I guess Night of the Living Dead takes place in a house.
It does,
And
yeah.
that's a classic film.
The movie Room takes place in a room.
Well, not all of it.
The TV show Dr. House takes place in a house.
Yes.
Beetlejuice takes place in a house.
Lots of movies have houses in them. I think you're missing the point.
I can't wait to watch Carnivore.
That makes one of us.
What the hell was that?
What?
Rich is implying that there's paranormal activity happening with his camera.
Oh.
In an effort, a subtle effort to mock me and my belief in ghosts.
What did you just do?
I didn't do anything. I'm just doing, the camera work.
What's it? What?
It's like the cameras are operating on their own. This is so spooky.
Check the audio for EVPs.
Okay.
Check this audio for EVPs.
Let's listen.
Well, you can't hear an EVP. It's beyond the range of human hearing. It only appears.
Well, I was saying in editing, we cut to
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did it say don't watch Carnivore?
It did. It was a warning.
Oh, it's just a warning from beyond the grave.
It was a warning from George Romero.
That house was named after me.
He didn't want his name attached to the film. The ghost of George Romero is trying to warn us about.
Let's go.
This area has been superseded by the United States government and is now under quarantine. I am instructing you to leave this area immediately.
Did you build a government lab in the haunted house that's constantly being visited by the drunken teenage kid? That's the dumbest thing I ever heard! And that's coming from me! Oh, it's my face.
Mike, our next film is HauntedWeen.
What? HauntedWeen?
HauntedWeen, and this is an unusual DVD. It's signed by the writer-director, W. Doug Robertson. I have no idea if he sent this to us, or if it was somebody that got it signed at like a convention, and then they were like, well, this is embarrassing. I don't want this in my collection. I'll give it to the Milwaukee guys.
Yeah.
Because this is the 20th anniversary edition, so this is a movie that was made
20 years ago.
well, depending on when this DVD was made, but
Right.
there's no date on it, so who knows.
By the way, that's just a fucking terrible title. HauntedWeen.
Yeah, there's one I saw on Netflix called like Halloween. It's like a stoner Halloween movie. I'm sure that one's great.
Oh, yeah, you know, that has its audience.
HauntedWeen, when fantasy becomes a deadly reality.
Oh my God, that's my life.
And going with the theme of bad stills, we have what looks like some VHS stills on the back here.
Sure. Is that an Ugnaught?
It looks like an Ugnaught, yeah.
What the fuck?
You know what isn't spooky is people lounging on the beach. I don't think of that when I think of Halloween. 20 years ago, a deadly accident forced Eddie Berber from his home. When Eddie was younger, he never got his chance to be part of the family business, the Berber Haunted House. Ooh, we got haunted houses. Now that he's home, he wants to play.
I don't know, Berber Haunted House.
Doesn't have the
No, it
ring
doesn't have
to it.
quite a ring to it. Like,
Yeah.
like Berber factory bolts.
Well, I think of like Gerber. I think of
Yeah.
like baby food.
I think of more like Berber washer and nut company. Berber PVC pipes and plastic caps.
Okay, this doesn't exist. This is just the sound.
No, just Berber sounds like. Oh, I think I'm thinking of Gerber. There's a company called Gerber.
That's what I just said. But they're baby food.
No. It's a different company. They repair your car.
Okay.
Auto collision repair. Gerber. So Berber is not a good name for a haunted house.
I didn't know there were so many Gerbers.
Dr. Spooky's haunted house. Or, you know, there's so many other names in Berber.
Oh God.
Berber's Donuts. Berber's meat and poultry.
Just keep saying Berber.
Berber can go in front of any particular business other than a haunted house. Mr. Spooky, Mr. Scary. Dr. Acula's haunted house.
Now that he's home, he wants to play. He tells a college fraternity they can use the house as a fundraiser. We got another house movie.
Oh, yeah.
While the Sigma Phi's prepare their rooms for fun and thrills, Eddie prepares his special room for blood and kills.
Okay.
The director wrote this, and I hate it. As cries echo from the house, you wonder, are they screaming for their life or cheering for their death?
Why would you cheer for
What? As cries echo from the house, oh, you wonder, not they wonder. I still don't understand this.
Doesn't matter.
One thing for
None of
sure.
this matters.
One thing for sure. Nobody knows it's really happening. People are dying and people are laughing. Some of these sentences rhyme and some don't. Filmed in Kentucky, Tennessee.
Oh. Wait, Kentucky is a state, and so is Tennessee.
But there could be a Kentucky in Tennessee. Oh, wait, no. Filmed in Kentucky, Tennessee, and at Western Kentucky University.
Oh, that's staying in. Jay failed geography in grade school.
I just read the thing.
In the past 6 months, we have received a total of $17.13. You are currently past due in the amount of $3,700.
Oh, my
Man,
God.
that is total bullshit. I sent him a check last week.
If we do not receive your dues in full, we will be forced to revoke your membership as a national fraternity.
was one random person yelling it. Oh my god, it's chaos!
It's so wacky!
What?
Well, thank you, Gremlin. Our next film is Black Roses.
Wow, Mike, I can't believe our studio is infested with spooky gremlins.
It's weird because it's Halloween.
What a coincidence.
Our last film of the night is Black Roses.
Complete with classic green horror sticker.
Yep.
That's exciting. That's a fun cover.
Yeah, it's a 3-dimensional cover. Pop out. They're desperate to sell copies of this. Turn up the volume, turn down the lights, but don't watch it alone. And we won't, because there are 4 of us. Yeah, there's a guy singing on the back who kind of looks like Slade Craven.
What was the rock guy from Trick or Treat? Sammy Kerr.
Like a photographic memory or something.
Only when it comes to shitty heavy metal horror films.
Right, because you don't remember what our states are. But you remember Sammy Kerr.
The important things.
Yeah, the important things in life. But yeah, this monster looks pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a good monster.
When the sleepy town of Mill Basin...
Mill Basin's okay.
No.
It's no Berber.
Is invaded by a sleazy band of hard rockers, the self-righteous townspeople try to stop their concert series. I guess Mill Basin is such a big city, and they're such a big band, they have to have a series of shows. So many things wrong with that sentence. When the band finally overcomes parental objections, a town full of normal Midwestern kids begins to turn bad.
Ooh.
These kids turn into monsters right before your very eyes. Last sentence. The special effects are fantastic. It's not really part of a description. It's
no, it's like they got bored with the plot. They're like,
it's just,
special effects are good.
It's just an opinion. that's in the description.
Well, that's what you want on your description for a film. You want opinions.
It's not quoted by anyone. It's just an opinion.
It's just whoever, whatever intern they hired to write the back of the box. That was just his opinion, and now it's a fact about the film.
The special effects are fantastic. It's all in caps, too.
Oh my God, it is.
So you have to shout that part. Maybe they throw black roses around, and those are infected with an alien virus.
If you smell it, there's some sort of pollen in it that turns you into a monster, like Alien Covenant.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Which, by the way, in that movie, the special effects are fantastic.
That's in the official description.
That's what Ridley Scott just kept saying in interviews, and they thought he was just a senile old man, but he was actually referencing Black Roses.
Well, it's a film about space explorers who land on a planet, encounter a mysterious alien. The special effects are fantastic! Mr. Scott, you don't have to yell. I'm right here.
Ugh.
They needed to set this up with tennis lessons earlier on.
Yeah.
Why do you gotta take these tennis lessons?
A lot of tennis late in the movie. Whoa! What?
Wait, who was that? That was just some
member.
random person at the concert.
What was that? Somebody got killed?
She got Home Alone 2 did.
Check it out.
Oh my God!
This is a terrible idea.
Why did the Halloween episodes become the drinking
There
episodes?
was one year where Jack got really drunk.
Is that what started the tradition?
Take a still image.
To Halloween!
Halloween. Spooky! Oh, I like it. Hey, guys, thanks for coming to my farm. As you know, I grew up on a farm.
You grew up on this farm.
And I'm
the
really
farm
excited.
that we're filming this at.
As we talked about many best of the worst ago, I grew up on a farm, and I'm really happy that you guys could come finally join me on the old Packard family farm.
Yeah, which isn't haunted at all, right?
There are definitely no ghosts, no ghouls, no skeletons.
Okay, that's good.
Creepy ass scarecrow.
So the first movie we watched was...
Carnivore.
The first movie we watched was Carnivore. I'm terrible at this.
You forgot already.
Satisfy your hunger for horror.
I picked this film, so I will.
This is Mike's responsibility.
Jack, you're doing a hell of a job hosting.
I feel like I'm doing a great job. You're welcome.
I picked Carnivore based on 3 stills in the back, all of which legitimately appeared in the film. One was a silhouette of a man with a smoke machine behind him. The middle picture I thought was the president, because it says there's the official seal and the flag, and it says of the United States. Turns out,
Cameron Mitchell.
Not Cameron Mitchell. It should have been played by Cameron Mitchell. Turns out it was the head of the CIA, FBI.
Head of the government agency in charge of monsters.
Yes, some sort of agency that bought, possibly rented an abandoned house.
They didn't rent it. I read it as they created a house that looked abandoned from scratch.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, well, that's a stretch.
Because if they were renting, I'd like to see that lease agreement.
Yeah.
That's some...
$60 a month to rent this abandoned house with no plumbing or heat
You
or
can't
electricity.
just buy an old house because it's not going to have a lab underneath it.
That's true.
So you have to build an abandoned house from scratch.
It's like that mansion in Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, where it's like a mansion, but underneath there's an entire like dinosaur DNA research
The
facility.
one that Stretch Cunningham had no idea about? Well, possibly they built an underground research lab and then brought in like a movie studio haunted house set and plopped it on top.
The movie studio is being very generous.
To detract.
They went to the local JC's haunted house and they took their sets.
Yeah. And they wanted to detract from teenagers trying to sneak into their haunted house on Halloween to have sex when they could have just built their underground laboratory anywhere.
In the middle of nowhere, in the desert.
In the middle of nowhere.
At Area 51. Let's do our monster experiments in Area 51.
Like, put it where it is now. Put it in the small town, but then just build like a big concrete brick with a door on top. Just something that's not enticing for people to go into and have sex in.
They don't want the teenagers to come into the haunted house, yet they have a haunted house that drunken teenagers would want to come into.
Here's the thing, Rich. They say they don't want teenagers to come into their house, yet they have just dirty beds laying everywhere.
And like stacks of condoms next to the bed.
Specifically for teenagers to have sex on.
And something is playing like sexy Kenny G music.
That edit made it look like they're watching.
I know.
Yeah.
That's pornography.
It's getting a little mouthy, nipply there.
Yeah.
There's a little sex scene.
You're skipping ahead 45 minutes into the movie. We got to talk about the first 45 minutes where nothing happens.
Oh, okay. Well, we just did.
Yeah.
The one guy in I think what was the best scene in the film when we finally see the carnivore.
Oh God, yes.
What?
What?
Oh!
That's out.
Savagely ripping his guy.
Throw the meat around the room.
This went from 0 to 60.
0 to
Holy
60
shit.
in 40 minutes. You see, he starts tearing the guy apart and throwing his guts everywhere. But then after that, our other 3 surviving teenage leads vanish from the film.
They're just gone. The cops get to the house, and our teenage characters are like, "There's a monster in the house. There's a monster in the house."
You go. Go. Go.
Out of here.
You be quiet.
Please.
Why do you do this?
I don't want to be in here.
Shut up. Shut up.
Why can't you go outside?
Told him to shut up.
The real story here is the monster gets out, scientist lady comes to save the monster, and her meatheads shoot it. That's the whole story.
Yeah.
And for an hour of the movie is them just driving to the house while teenagers play around in it.
Yes.
The teenagers...
We didn't realize that the people driving to the house were the main characters. We thought the teenagers in the house were the main characters.
Right.
Here's the thing. The film is not focused on main characters. The film is focused on a subversion of expectations. This is an early Rian Johnson film where you think that the monster is a bad guy.
Sure.
That's just a vicious clawing monster.
And we thought that because he viciously tore the guts out of a kid,
Right.
took that person's guts and threw it at Kelly Bundy. So we
Because
thought he was bad because of these things.
You know what that's
where
called?
he does evil things.
Setup.
Yeah.
Setup.
although it's explained in the film that the monster is triggered by pheromones.
Well, we discover that after the fact.
Payoff.
Yeah, the setup happens after the payoff.
It's payoff and set up.
Yeah.
It subverts your expectations.
Like I said, this is an early Rian Johnson film.
Swapper.
But the monster communicates with CIA, FBI, whatever lady, government lady. We'll call her government lady. You think the movie's about a psychopathic, like bloodthirsty carnivore monster that's grown in a lab that's just going to kill indiscriminately, but really, the monster is the victim.
It's about an evil government agency that wanted the monster killed instead of studied because.
Yeah, okay.
We never find out why the government agency lady was an entirely different person for half of the car ride.
Hey, Liddy, can you believe she fell asleep?
Yeah, she seems like the type.
I heard all that.
Why is she sleeping?
Why is she sleeping?
What's happening?
For some reason, government lady, she's taking a nap in the limousine in a very strange fashion that covers up her entire face.
You oddly don't see her face.
Very
we were
weird.
like, this is weird. What if they couldn't get the actress that day? And that's the director in a wig.
That's what it is.
You think?
Probably. Actress couldn't show up that day.
And you go, okay, well, for one shot, I guess that's a clever workaround. You got to work within your limitations, but then it happens like 3 more times.
Yeah.
She's in the background, like on the phone or on a conference call.
Go check the containment. I'm calling it in.
That is so the director in a wig.
That's brilliant. So did she leave production early because she realized what a shit movie she was in? Did they not have the budget to get her for those days?
I think it's they had the movie scheduled out. She was sort of a big deal in Arkansas. Or wherever
She
they
was
shot
in
the
a
movie.
Crest commercial
She was
5 years before.
She was in the commercial, so this was like their big get. And they're like, oh, we only have her for a couple days. We'll shoot everything we can, and anything we don't need her for, I'll just wear a wig. The director said that.
They could have cut that whole scene out.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's the thing is that scene didn't have anything to do with anything.
You know what? You could have cut every scene out. And it would have been a good movie.
Literally, you could cut out the entire teenagers being in the house, and the movie still makes
Which is the
perfect
first
sense.
half of the movie, which we thought that was what the movie was about until it wasn't anymore.
You could make this movie 2 minutes long. The monster rips apart the teenager, and the monster rips apart the cop's face.
The film does everything wrong.
Yeah.
Even the monster and the sets, all
And
the
the
actors, plot.
We did.
There's
get a
not
cut-
much more to the movie, otherwise we would be listing off more things.
I think we should focus on some of the good. Well, really, like the 2 good, which is
The one wall, that
the
fucking
3
wall
good.
was sweet. We see the same wall over and over and over.
The famous wall.
The famous wall where it's like they had exposed brick, but it's just like a decal that they just put on the wall. And we
We're
see that
assuming
wall multiple times throughout the film.
They're going from one white room with fake exposed bricks to another white room with fake exposed bricks. That wall, the wall with the light beams, was amazing, but wasn't utilized.
Oh, I was thinking of the other wall.
The original wall was utilized more than the wall with the light beams. I think they came up with the wall with the light beams later. Somebody fell and I fell and poked holes in the wall.
Yeah. Look at that! There's light coming through the wall.
And then
Film it!
Film it. And they realized, we could do that.
Wait, Jay, are you on team brick wall? Because I'm on team light wall.
I'm on team light.
Light wall must be used sparingly or else it will get old.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's so visually compelling.
Those are your money shots.
Money shots. You need those shots.
But you don't want the whole movie to be money shots.
Money shot is a specific one-time use only. Team Brick Wall, they reuse their wall
over and over again. That's what I'm saying. It's old news.
Because it's, you know what? It's reliable. It's sturdy. It's dependable.
This movie sucks so much. We're talking about a wall. A wall in the background.
Wall is the best character in the film.
Wait. We're Team Light Wall.
Yeah.
Jay's clearly Team Brick Wall. Rich?
I think the brick wall is more interesting because it's so stupid. You can't have the whole movie be the interesting wall.
Do you remember the Carnivore?
You need boring walls in between the interesting wall shots to make the interesting wall just that much more special.
Wait. Do you remember?
No.
When our four main characters went up to the attic of the house.
Yes.
I do.
I actually don't.
And it was this wonderful, visually interesting land. There were lots of things up there. There was
nothing up there but cobwebs.
The attic was filled with weird, interesting things.
It was filled with cobwebs.
No.
And one candelabra from a haunted house.
They wanted to come back with the truck and rob the attic. It was filled with so many interesting things.
There was nothing in that attic.
The subplot where they were going to steal things that just fell out of the movie. But that happened in the attic.
Did that happen?
That happened.
Yes. He wanted to come back with the truck, steal the candelabra, steal multiple things from the attic because it was so interesting.
Do you remember when the monster got stabbed in the head with the nails on the board, and then the wounds turned into horns?
That was in the attic.
Fuck yeah!
They never went.
They went up to the attic, and then they came down from the attic, and then they were gone from the movie.
But I'm saying, why didn't they go back to the attic?
Because they disappeared from the movie entirely.
This is classic Team Brick Wall gaslighting. You're just steamrolling over the important facts to support your narrative.
Maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah. Typical.
Maybe they found something in the attic that made them ascend from the movie into a higher plane of existence.
Oh, okay.
They are bullshit. Team Brick Wall is bullshit.
Team Brick Wall's bullshit.
I want to address your point that the walls exposed fake bricks was a fake sticker on the wall. I don't think it was.
Oh.
I think.
Do you think the science lab that's in the movie was a real science lab?
Oh, you prick. You're gonna go to hell.
Wait a minute. You saying movies are fake? You shut up.
This was based on a true story.
I read all about it in Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum.
The Carnivore is real. Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum.
It's time.
What the fuck is he doing? Jay is pouring shots of Maker's Mark?
Yeah, I'm pouring shots thinking about having to edit this.
Jay, last time
all I'm doing is making it worse for myself.
Okay, Jack.
Yeah. Well, we didn't conclude our discussion of Carnivore. We just stopped.
Cardboard?
Much like Carnivore itself.
Yeah, we just stopped.
Wait, I didn't cheers your glass.
You have hay in yours.
You didn't cheers my glass either.
Wait, you have a piece of hay in yours.
Don't you know how this works?
No.
How you cheer things?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
This was a bad idea. A very bad idea.
You remember when you murdered cats? Good night, sweet cats.
Who brought the fucking shot glasses?
We thought it'd be funny. It turns out that it's a terrible idea. He's never murdered cats, Mike.
You grew up on the farm, you get a lot of cats, sometimes the cats gotta go down.
Why are you doing this to me?
Good night, sweet cats.
All you're doing is making this harder and harder.
Meow. When Jay dies and he reaches the pearly gates, there's thousands and thousands of cats.
Cats don't have souls. That's not a problem.
Yes, they do, and they have worms coming out of their ears.
That's dogs, and they don't.
Welcome, Jay.
I've never killed a cat.
Josh, you saw movies from here on out, right?
Do you
want to switch places?
Here, come on.
That's the word. It doesn't make sense for. We're done.
Oh.
Okay. Keep going. No, keep talking. Keep
No,
talking, Jack.
seriously, I
Keep
want
talking,
you to.
Jack.
I didn't know where you were
Finish
going.
your sentence.
This episode brought to you by alcohol.
What the fuck is happening?
Do it clean.
Why is Rich freaking out?
He's not.
I'm gonna take a walk.
Rich has rightfully given up. This is gone. This is gone. This is gone.
All right.
Oh, Jack, I'll see you in a few days when we redo this episode.
All right. Okay, continue.
All right.
We need an actual transition.
No,
if we're
it has to just cut to someone else being here.
Is Mike just gonna lay down and?
And we're back. We decided to take, a break for a few days.
No reason.
No particular reason. It's possible that one of us got a little out of control, but now we're back and we're going to continue talking about these movies as if nothing had happened.
So the next movie we watched was HauntedWeen. Rich, can you please talk about HauntedWeen?
Yes, well, in the grand tradition of Halloween horror movies, HauntedWeen is a college drunken boner comedy.
Until it isn't anymore.
Until it isn't anymore. Well, it starts off as a horror movie where there's a haunted house and there's a kid who does the tickets out front, but he wants to be one of the people who does the scares inside. So
Well, we technically start off, this is like 20 years in the past.
Yes.
But there's a flash forward within that flashback. Where he's just like, some kid is chasing a girl in a room and we don't know what's happening. And then the title comes in Comic Sans.
Comic Sans, like before Comic Sans is even a thing, isn't it?
I think this movie invented Comic Sans.
In the grand tradition of Halloween movies, we invented the Comic Sans font.
The kid, his name is Eddie Berber, and this is the Berber family farm / haunted house. And
Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, and Berber.
Berber.
Eddie Berber.
Remember how I theorized like what the Berber auto glass, Berber family air conditioning and ductwork.
Yay, that would explain some things in this movie because
They make industrial ductwork for buildings and they're practicing on their own home. It's like a family business.
You put it together.
Yeah.
You put it together.
That's why.
The Berber family house has like the ductwork out of Die Hard for some reason.
Here's where we get to the fun part: is this little boy is chasing a girl around the kill room.
Yes.
And the
Which
girl,
his whole thing is like he has to take the tickets at the front gate, but he wants to be a part of the haunted house. And so he sneaks in with the girl.
So he sneaks in with the girl to scare her, to chase her around, and she accidentally impales herself on some sort of stick.
What? That's a fantastic question.
It's just bizarre because it's like you either have an accident and then he feels guilt from the accident and that drives him crazy, or he's a homicidal maniac and he kills her, but instead they do both?
I definitely think they were going for that accidental death that drove him crazy. The problem is, it like drives him instantly crazy.
Yes.
Yes.
To the point that he can manifest machetes out of nowhere.
We're not exaggerating to say the next 50 minutes of this movie is a straight-up boner college comedy.
A jitterbug!
Teens in the 90s loved this music.
The swing music was back on the up and up.
I theorized during the screening that this was just a boner comedy about saving the frat, and then they retrofitted it to make it a horror film.
Shot
at
a
some
couple
point.
little scenes to sprinkle in. It almost feels like that for a good 75% of the movie.
Hey, they reshot 98% of Solo, a Star Wars story. So you could do some things.
Mike, that might be too deep of a cut. No one remembers Solo anymore.
Yeah. Was this Kathleen Kennedy's first producer job? Reshoot the whole film.
We shot one film, now let's reshoot half of it to make a new film.
But one's a horror movie and one's a boner comedy.
It's fine.
We'll get Ron Howard. I don't know why Kathleen Kennedy has a smoker's.
I don't know.
Paint! And most important, beer!
Oh my God! Who invited Lou Ferrigno?
Hey!
To start the show. Someone's dying to start the show.
This is seriously just the crew fucking around.
Here's the thing, though. This movie, all right, the action, once you get to the horror part at the end, it's actually a neat premise.
You know.
Oh, Jesus.
He always wanted to be a part of the show as a kid, but he was too young.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
That's fair.
Okay, I was not.
Yeah, you need to remind the audience of that more than, like, you know, have it in the opening scene and then an hour later it comes into play.
More than having 50 minutes of, we gotta have the fundraiser.
Yeah, all that shit.
You know, it's like, well, I got this great idea where there's this haunted house that the kids are doing, but the kills are real in this one room. I can't just do the whole movie about the kills. College frat house needs the money, and then before you know it, you've got an hour of just crap.
I just rewatched Revenge of the Nerds. Let's just do that.
This really needed to be an episode of Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, this is a half an hour's worth of story stretched.
You keep the intro. You cut out 99% of the frat. You keep, we have money troubles, but introduce the characters who get killed. Haunted house, killer, there you go.
Man, she's a good actress. She can really act. She is good. It looks so real.
You keep it a brisk 20 minutes, leave enough time for the Crypt Keeper to show up at the beginning and the end, and you're golden.
I think the problem with this being a Tales from the Crypt episode, though, if you were to make this like 25 minutes long, is that 15 of that would be the girl stripping and walking into the water.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, hey, I saw Halloween.
Yeah. Taking her sweet ass time.
It's very, very cold. She's trying to ease into
I am
it.
walking into the water now.
Ferris, what are you doing?
Trying to focus the camera.
This is why you made the movie.
You fucking it up. I focused on the fog again.
I spent 7 hours trying to talk her into taking her top off my film, and you can't get her to focus.
Wait, I got it.
If the character arc of the killer was that his psychosis was he needed to kill people inside of a haunted house in order to fulfill his fantasy of being the guy inside the haunted house that kills people.
Yeah.
Why in the heck did he kill those 2 people in the woods?
Because so much time had gone on.
Because the movie had gone on for an hour and there was no kills.
Because at that point he could have been walking around the town just killing locals, you know?
Well,
just random people or just been a regular old serial killer.
You found a plot hole in this movie, Mike. You did it. I'm shocked.
How dare you, HauntedWeen?
Just get on with it, though.
No, he's being a showman.
Oh.
No.
Why didn't it fall forward?
Boo! Boo! The HauntedWeen starts.
So, well, the last, 15, 20 minutes is finally what the entire point of the movie is supposed to be, which is these people go in one room, there's fake killings. Oh, man, they cut a person in half and it's mannequin legs. Then you go in the second room, and that's where Eddie Berber's doing the real killing.
Man, it looks so real.
If you're going to do that premise, you actually need to really nail the acting and the effects in the real portion.
Man, she's a good actress. She can really act.
The wrist was pretty neat.
Well, that's the thing is that's the main character's girlfriend. She's duct taped to the wall, and Eddie Berber cuts her guts out and then slits her wrists.
I'm glad they spent so much time on that romance subplot.
Yeah, it really paid off. But then it turns out that she's fine. It's just a flesh wound. I don't know.
You're gonna be fine, Mel.
It's the girl she needs to go outside to take a leak. And then he picks her up. It looks like he's shaking a martini. What happened in that scene?
Right. Remember, he lifted her up so high that she hits her head on a tree branch.
We don't know.
We don't know what happened. Either that or she got so scared as she was being lifted up that she just passed out. Whatever happened, it was wrong.
It was a little off frame.
When you get a sudden jerky motion, I don't know about you guys, but I just immediately, I'm done for it.
You're like one of those goats. You hear a loud sound and just...
Is that a thing that happens?
Fainting goats.
I've never heard of this.
You never heard of the fainted goats?
No.
If you startle them, they have some kind of just flaw.
It's like a design flaw in a goat.
It's like some kind of just genetic flaw that has been bred into them.
This is legitimately the most amazing thing I've heard in a long time.
Come on, buddy. Scoot. And there he goes.
There are goat farms that specialize in these specific goats, so people can go there, pay money to scream at goats and make them fall down. So you go to the farm.
Why are we still here? I want to go right now.
This is a goat farm. Go and watch goats, fall down. This episode's gonna be a little late, guys. We gotta go scream.
We gotta go to a goat farm.
That's how we can destroy the movie. The goat falls on the table.
So the end of the movie, the hillbilly guy shoots the flamethrower down the ductwork at Berber, Eddie Berber.
Which apparently burns him, but not his mask.
Yes, it burns the skin under his mask, but the mask is fine.
I guess it's that kid.
I guess it's Eddie Berber who was a kid in the beginning of the film. Like the twist would be if it were like one of the frat guys. If it were like Big Chin.
Oh yeah,
right.
Big Chin would be a twist.
Big Chin would be a twist.
Was that a love triangle?
Yeah,
that's right. They introduced the love triangle, and then
he wasn't
that
happy with the frat. The girl wasn't happy with Tim Tebow. She's like, "Your friends are crazy. I'm gonna go date this guy." And yeah. Rich. Like I said, you need to write 80s horror movies.
They're very popular right now. You could make a lot of money.
There you go.
Just even the most simple ideas that we just barf out here.
Maybe at some point in the future, like I will be sucked backwards in time, and I wrote all of these films.
And each of these films has a warning for you not to get sucked back in time, but you're not paying attention. You're making fun of the movies.
Well, if we wanted to make our own HauntedWeen, we could start an Indiegogo for it. I think it's safe to say we'd make more money than the actual Indiegogo for HauntedWeen 2 made.
How embarrassing.
How embarrassing.
And you know, sometimes we get a little squeamish about pointing stuff like this out, but clearly whoever started this Indiegogo is a huge dickhead.
Well, we looked him up. Yeah. What was his name? It was like Dickie Bushman or something weird.
That's exactly what it was.
I don't remember that, but
exactly
he had some name where you're like, oh, that sounds like the name of a sleazebag.
He had like 85 films to his name, and they were like, Cheerleader, Slumber, Massacre, Tit, Stab, Party, 6.
Yeah.
It was just like...
Rich, are you taking notes? Slumber, Teenage Massacre,
Slumber,
Tit,
Teenage,
Stab.
Tit Massacre?
Yeah. That's the next script you have to work on and send back in time.
There's no Slumber Party, no teenagers, no massacre, no tits. They screwed it up.
Yeah. But see, now that we've mentioned that movie, it magically just appeared on our shelf up there. It's like, oh, now it's in our lives. You always wonder about that, because like Doug Robertson, he never made another movie after this. They're like, it's just that one thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they got film cameras. They showed some behind the scenes stuff where they have like dolly tracks. And they're doing their best. They looked at it and they said, oh my God, this is a big piece of shit. And this was a big pain in the ass. Let's just stop. You know what I mean? Yeah. Others.
I'm going to go get my law degree.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Others have not been so wise.
That's true.
They've just continued.
That's true.
He had that soul-searching moment. It was like,
yeah.
I don't want to be the next Don Dohler.
Right. Yeah, why keep trying? The first one was just terrible.
I could be a manager at a hardware store.
Maybe that's why the movie just awkwardly ends. Like. I wouldn't have expected such a big...
What?
Oh my God, he's just gonna drive away.
That's unexpected. Bye!
The engine's still running fine.
This is exciting.
Oh
my God! That's the end!
That's fucking amazing. The van is on fire and it drives off. It fades to black because that was just when they gave up.
They clearly had a tractor with a chain that was pulling this van along, and they thought it looked cool that it was still going.
I guess.
And then
Maybe it started rolling down the hill and they just added in like an engine noise.
Oh.
Yeah.
rolled right into like a Little League baseball game.
That's why they never made another movie.
Keep rolling. This is great.
They're all in prison.
The Indiegogo campaign, it's a front. It's just their legal fees.
Their parole's coming up.
So that was HauntedWeen 1.
Part 1.
HauntedWeen
Number
Part
2's
1.
coming.
Number 2 is coming as soon as we raise the money in our own Indiegogo.
I thought HauntedWeen already was number 2.
So.
Oh my God.
Jeez, the corn.
Mike had 15 shots in between the last discussion.
And a ghost just touched my soul. A ghost.
On the family farm, the Packard family farm, there have been rumors of the corn coming alive.
Oh, heavens.
And attacking people.
The corn itself?
The corn.
That sounds like the least scary thing ever.
You would think so.
That's less scary than HauntedWeen.
That would have been a better
spooky.
segue if you said Black Roses.
Oh.
What? Our next film is called Black Roses.
Our next film is called Black Roses. It is a rock and roll demon scary movie, as is now apparently a tradition.
That's tradition. We do the heavy metal horror.
Yeah.
I don't know why that has become a thing, but it has.
Jay, why don't you tell us all about Black Roses?
Black Roses is a cautionary tale about the evils of heavy metal. Non-ironically, it's not even like, oh, the townspeople, they think metal is evil, but it really isn't. Mm-hmm. No, this is like Reefer Madness for the 80s for metal.
We have had no corrupting influences here to speak of until now. And now we find that disciples of the devil are invading our town and threatening to steal our children away from us. Yes, their image.
Looks awesome.
I drew this myself.
Oh, this is so frightening, this cartoon skeleton.
With googly eyes.
Usually in a movie, once you've got like the uptight locals in the small town who are against the things that scare them because they're not familiar with it coming into town, they're usually in the wrong.
Yeah.
Yes. In this town, they have a meeting because the band Black Roses is coming to town for 5 nights in the small town of Mill Creek. Most well known.
Population 1,000.
Population 1,000. Most well known for manufacturing shitty DVDs.
Yeah.
But yeah, the band is coming to town for 5 days. They have like an entire town hall meeting in the auditorium where Nancy Reagan is like, this is going to be terrible. They're going to corrupt our children. But then like the mayor or whoever that guy is, he's like, no, remember the Beatles?
Rock and roll is about rebellion. What about Elvis? Little Richard, Chuck Berry. Remember when they first came out, did your parents squawk? And what about the Beatles? Now, let's don't forget the Beatles.
So you're like, oh, so I side with this guy. Turns out Nancy Reagan was right all along.
Yeah. The mayor's a little laid back. Yeah, he's like, remember rock and roll? Our parents were scared.
Loosen up, squares.
Elvis,
Yeah. No, it turns out the band is evil. They do corrupt the children, and everything just goes to hell.
One of the following scenes is all the adults go to preview the first night's concert.
Yes.
And it's a very like clean show, and the guy's singing like
it's like a ballad, like a rock ballad.
And it's like, and they're all just like, yeah, what's the problem, you know?
45 seconds into the song, they're like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, they are awfully loud, but the children do seem to be enjoying themselves. I don't suppose there's any real harm to them.
We're to assume that they've never seen any previous material or heard music from Black Roses. They're going solely on their cartoon skull logo. We haven't even heard the music.
But look at this terrifying cover. It could be based on what we discover throughout the movie, which is that the band is evil and they turn into weird, lumpy monsters. As we see in the opening scene, which is them playing in another town. They're already the monsters. So I would assume word travels. And so when they're saying like this band is evil, like my cousin is in another town, and they were there, and they turned into Ninja Turtle monsters.
They just played it. They just played in Portland.
Yeah.
And the entire crowd turned into zombies and ate people. I don't think they should come here.
Yeah.
Is the arc of the story so far.
An entire auditorium of people being murdered or dying might have made the news.
Yeah, you'd think.
Like we were all eaten by monsters at a rock concert, and video cameras were around.
And it was Black Roses who did it. Black Roses.
They're on the bill.
Is an evil band who turns us into monsters.
Yeah.
And they're just reading the news.
This film would work in like 1890. You know, the band travels faster than like the letter carrier on the. But you know, it doesn't.
You have a
really
ticking clock element where they got to get to the next town before the band plays.
We have to beat the Pony Express to the next town.
Hold on, guys. I've just received a telegram.
Well, as we do discover, the people in this town are not very bright, which is why all the high school students are 40 years old.
No, yeah.
They're the same age as the teachers.
Repeating the 12th grade.
It never fails to make me smile when that one student who is clearly over 40 years old tries to overcompensate for his age by physically acting young.
Oh, God.
I mean, it's like every time there's something I really want, somebody takes it away.
How silly does that 45-year-old man feel doing that on the floor?
He's just happy to be working, all right?
He doesn't care that he's dressed like Ernest P. Worrell.
In Canada, he's 34. What? Because of conversion.
Only what they think is evil is evil. You know, they call the shots because they're the adults.
That's the 45-year-old man.
And that's why I've been on the school council for 15 years.
This is actually a PTA meeting.
Getting the board together.
Utilizing the classroom.
The only way I could keep track of who was the teacher and who was the student is that the teacher had a Tom Selleck mustache.
That's one of the biggest flaws of the movie that we should talk about is the high school literature teacher is our protagonist.
Yes, we thought it was going to be the 40-year-old teen.
Yeah, or it should have been focused on like 1 or 2 or 3 of the high school students who just aren't quite into this band.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone else says, you got to check out the Black Roses show. Nah, we don't really want to go.
They're going to watch their friends kind of turn evil around them.
Yes.
That slow discovery.
Yeah. One of their friends who was the good kid, or you know, the ace student, starts to fail their classes. Blah, blah. And then in order for Black Roses' plan to work, they have to get all the kids. You know, and it seems very basic. Again, simple fixes.
You know, the other weird thing is, like, it's one thing, you know, like they have the kids corrupted, but sometimes it's a rubber monster that kills people.
What the fuck?
Whoa!
A hand puppet came to get him.
Oh, it's adorable!
That's awesome. It's like a spider.
Yeah!
Ah!
And if you're doing a movie about the kids being corrupted by the music, why is sometimes a monster coming out of the speaker?
That's right.
Which lends another power to the Satanic Band, is that their evil power can be transmutated via their records.
Yeah.
Which, so they don't really even have to set up shop and go around and play concerts.
Well, and what do they want? They just kill that guy. Do they want to form minions, or do they want to just kill everybody? We don't know.
Who
They're
knows?
just generically evil.
They're just evil.
Yeah.
At one
We
point,
want to do evil.
Yeah, at one point they turn a bunch of kids at the concert into like haunted house skeletons.
Yeah, are they dead or are they? Just,
Are they dead? I don't know.
They
Their
look
eyes
like-
are still.
Look like petrified. Like
It looks
all the
like they
moisture
look
was sucked out of them?
like Beaker or something. When Beaker's frightened, like
They look more emaciated than skeleton.
Right,
yeah. Sure.
It felt very much like something out of Life Force. It's not a slow burn with the corruption. They hear that music once live and the kids are all evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, right away.
Right away.
Oh,
They're not even out of the building.
Now they look like He-Man characters. The makeup, it goes from awesome, like you can still see his like muscles and he's got this weird evil face, and then he turns into like right out of the dinosaurs show.
Exactly.
Big floppy arms. It's like I'm not intimidated by this.
And same with the creature, that the student that wants to have the affair with the English teacher.
Oh,
comes
yeah.
over, and then she turns into a weird puppet.
Yeah, there you go. Just punch it.
Punch a demon.
Oh my God. Oh.
I love how it's just totally attached to the camera. So
It's
you can't
such an awesome looking creature, and they're filming this so poorly.
There's a shadow of
It's
the
because
camera.
they only built it to here, Jay.
But then it turns out, because that's one of his students that comes to the door, but then he kills that monster, and then that student is at the concert at the end of the film. So I guess that wasn't her, it was a monster in disguise?
And we kind of know that monsters can do this, because remember when the monster was the sexy lady that had sex with the 40-year-old teenager?
Yes.
And then wasn't there anymore, made him kill his dad, who was kind of cool?
That demon lady fucked him so hard that it gave him homicidal tendencies.
I love you, Dad.
Can we talk about how, like, there was nothing unifying the style of the demons? Like, it's just a hodgepodge of all different kinds of looks. Sometimes he looks like a space alien. Sometimes he's got bumps on his heads. Sometimes he's got a big monster mouth. Sometimes they look like zombies. Sometimes they look like they have Halloween masks. It looks like they stole all of the special effects makeup, like from the studio at night.
Yeah.
What do we got?
What do we got?
We got a bobblehead puppet.
These look like dinosaur people.
Put him in there. Put him in there. That's what he turns into at the end.
The puppet that attacks the teacher in the house was an early version of the Mac and Me puppet. It looks too creepy or something. Move on. Because it has those eyes, and it's like...
Its head is like...
Yeah, looks like a space alien, but you're right, inconsistency.
Yes.
And I think that goes along to Jay's point earlier, which is just, also, what are they trying to accomplish?
Yeah.
We don't really know what the goals of the demons are, besides...
We do discover that they're easily defeated and they have no peripheral vision.
What?
Oh, hey, don't mind me. Stage group.
Nobody
stage group.
notices. Tom Seligman just shows up the fourth night of the 5 nights of the concert wearing like a bright orange hunting vest. And I guess that when you're possessed by demons, you have like a deer, you can't see orange because he just sneaks right up to the stage.
His plan is so bizarre because he dumps gasoline on the corner front of the stage.
Yeah.
Like you'd think like you'd have a scene where he's like sneaking behind the stage, behind the drum kit,
Climbing over the rafters above
over the
them.
rafters. Yeah. Just kind of dumping gasoline from above. Really wants to hit the band, like Gremlins, when they're behind the screen or something like that. But he's dumping in the front corner of the stage.
Surrounded by people.
He's going to light it. He's going to kill more students than he is the band. He's just like...
No,
No, he's gonna start a small fire in the corner of the stage, and then the band and everybody else is gonna be able to easily exit.
Yeah.
That's his plan. Just a nice orderly evacuation.
It's so bad.
Everything's wrong.
It needed to be. Yeah, everything's wrong.
The visuals are cool, like there's some cool creatures and stuff, but there's no consistency to them. The plot doesn't make any sense. There's no kind of goal.
Well, I think the town kind of now knows about the demonic possession, because even there's a line at the end that the mayor goes, "You were right, Tom Selleck."
It's hard to hear him over the extras.
Yeah.
The coroner just told me that Chris was killed before the car ever caught on fire. Been a goddamn fool.
So yeah, he stops it, even though the demon rock band keeps playing in the Inferno. And then we kind of just fade out.
It just fades out, and then it comes up like, I don't know, a month later, 2 months later.
Popular heavy metal band Black Roses came to New York today on a 5-day concert swing before taking their show to Britain early next week. The popular group has sold out Madison Square Garden for every single night in the first week of August. And that concludes tonight's entertainment update. See you tomorrow with
Evil.
What? What?
He didn't manage to stop him after all.
That was as equally anticlimactic as HauntedWeen, but not nearly as funny. But what you need, our teacher guy, he sees that on the TV, and he says something like, "Oh, time to go to New York." Pulls out a shotgun.
Yeah. I think.
And then the rock song kicks in, and you're like, "Yeah, the movie didn't make any sense, but yeah."
I think he would really, reach behind his chair and pick up his can of gasoline. He goes, "Just enough to get us to New York."
Hey, it worked before.
It didn't, though. The movie was pointless.
He stopped Damien.
The kids were saved, maybe. Yeah. I guess we don't really know if the kids are
Some of them are
saved.
dead, some of them killed their parents.
This is a slightly bigger gas can for Madison Square Garden. It's a little bit bigger.
Yeah, the rock band's still going. They're going to go to London next.
Yeah. They were in a town at the beginning of the movie, and then they were in this town, and now they're in another town.
I mean, clearly we're following this band, so we know that everywhere they go, people turn into demons and die. But put on a good show.
All three of these movies did almost everything wrong.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
The theme of the night is just not ending things properly, or not ending at all. Just
that's one of them.
Fade. These movies all fade away.
Every single one of these is like the mid-show Saturday Night Live sketch where they just don't know how to end it, so it just kind of whimpers.
It starts, it has no direction, there's awkward silence, and then it kind of ends, and you're like, oh, I guess that was it? That's a good analogy.
These films get more laughter, though.
Hey!
So, let's try to figure out which is the best of the worsts. Rich.
I got no fucking clue. I got no fucking clue. Against all reason, I'm gonna say HauntedWeen just because I like the concept that is mishandled in the last 10 minutes of the movie.
All right. Jay, what would you pick for best?
Oh, God. I don't want to pick any as best of the worst.
I guess you don't have to, but,
One vote for abstain?
I think I do. I think I abstain.
Vote present.
Present, yeah. So I think I was most entertained by Black Roses.
I hated all three films, as we all did. I think my pick is with Carnivore. Because
how did I know you were going to pick Carnivore?
Well, I picked it.
This is the most best of the worst movie.
Well, yeah, because it's just incompetent, and it doesn't try to hide its incompetence. It's just bad. And I think you're right. There were lots of funnier moments in Black Roses, and usually I go with that. Like I laughed more at the movie, but Black Roses and HauntedWeen were too frustrating. The little movie that couldn't. Carnivore wanted to tell a story about a government experiment hidden in the basement of a haunted house. and they had nothing to work with. And they tried their best.
We have a three-way tie for best of the worst. Now we got to figure out which movie is the worst movie of the night.
Okay, so we're kind of stuck. We have no best. So worst, Mike.
I would love to destroy HauntedWeen. I thought that was the worstly executed one of them all. So fuck that movie.
Sure. For myself, none of the movies were really insulting to me. You know, I'm abstaining, and I don't want any of them destroyed.
Oh my God. I would like to destroy Carnivore just because I couldn't understand anything anyone said in the whole movie.
No, man. I was gonna say, why don't we check this place out?
You want to see exploring?
Yeah.
Rich.
Well, you're gonna hate me because I am voting for Black Roses. It's got that boring quality where it looks like it's gonna be a real movie, and it's still just kind of sucky, but in a mostly boring way. So fuck it.
Well, this is a first then. We have a
picked... three-way tie for best and for worst.
And they're the same films.
So what do we do?
Do you guys keep any sort of official rule book where we could consult?
Yeah, we have a rule book. We brought it to the farm. We bring it everywhere when we shoot an episode because you never know when something like this is going to happen.
Oh, that's right, because we're on my family farm.
Right.
Let's head back to the farmhouse.
Yeah.
And
consult the rule book. Yeah.
Check the
Grab some apple cider and go over the rule book.
Warm up a little.
And warm up. It's getting chilly out here.
I do have little marshmallows.
Oh, great. Come on, everybody.
Okay,
let's go.
I'm off.
We'll figure this out and be back.
The show. We're just dying to start the show.
Okay, you're in.